We've had 6 weeks of pretty aggressive campaigning led by Mario Draghi to talk down the currency, to heighten our expectations of not just more quantitative easing, but of a cut in that deposit rate deeper into negative territory. And at the same time, obviously, everyone's convinced now the Fed's raising rates in December.
Does Draghi need to do everything? I mean, do we need both quantitative easing and the cut in the deposit rate?
I think you do now. I mean, I think it's, from where we are now, frankly, almost whatever we get from the ECB and from the Fed, I would have thought that the dollar's going to soften some, and Eurodollar will probably bounce, in the first 6 weeks of next year. The dollar's weakened in the first 3 and 6 months after the start of each of the last 3 rate rising cycles, and I can't really see anything different this time. But yes, I think everybody's expecting something. A lot of people have positions. How on earth can he surprise by doing even more than we expect? Even though we're used to Mr. Draghi springing surprises.
Structural reforms that we've begun seeing in the Eurozone have already brought growth to Spain, to Ireland. It is a formula for growth, this austerity program. And ironically, as long as the Eurozone delays developing a transfer union, the more there's continued pressure on these spendthrift countries to get their own house in order, and we'll see more structural reform. I think the worst thing for Eurozone equities is actually a move closer to a full transfer union, because it will relieve these countries in the south of the pressure to engage in reform. And I think that's a very important point that people aren't making, and I think Spain is the showcase for it.
I do see that there is a clear valuation gap between European equities and US equities. At the same time, we have a growth gap, which I don't know how that is going to be filled economically. If we look at the last results, economic indicators and all that, it clearly shows that Europe is still in a very weak stage. I do see, however, that there is a bit of hope on the QE, which could stimulate the economy, could bring the euro down much more. But apart from those, I don't see any catalyst which is based on clear fundamentals that will bring growth to Europe. With the headwinds that we've seen from geopolitical side, it needs to be seen how the consumer confidence is going to evolve. And I do not see the clear catalyst that would justify this valuation gap versus the US at this stage.